Yo, what's up, everybody? Here we are, final episode of Ahsoka. Um, how you guys? Did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
finally here. The very last episode.
Yep.
I feel comfortable at this point calling it the season finale. I don't know.
Mhm.
That's
It-
there's
Not
there's
a
argument
series.
online right now about it, but yeah, I think we're comfortably in season finale territory,
Mhm.
not series finale. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I was a little disappointed, but
So-
only because I didn't get any. We'll talk about it. You know, like
Certain
any of those
right,
elements.
right,
questions.
right.
But
Certain
it's because it's a
elements,
season
missing.
finale, so that
Yeah.
there you go. If it was a series finale, it probably would.
Oh,
have
if this
ended
was a
differently.
series finale, I would be mad. Really
Right,
freaking
Because,
mad.
Yeah.
well, yeah, we have a
Yeah.
degree of cliffhanger happening,
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 literally.
I mean, I don't think there's any question whether or not this is going to be written by Dave Filoni. This episode was directed by Rick Famuyiwa, who did
Yeah.
Mandalorian's. Yeah, say it again.
Famuyiwa.
Famuyiwa. Directed seasons 1 and 2 Mandalorian episodes, and the finale of season 3. Oh, hi Emily.
Oh,
We got to give her a Star Wars name at some point.
Sure.
M2D2, something like that.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
But
talk
he
about
seems
it.
to be the pinch hitter for Star Wars finales at this point. Like he comes in and like
No,
does these
yeah, he's-
action-packed episodes.
He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
That's for sure.
They seem to be a well-oiled machine over there in the Filoniverse now, as far as these directors and the people that they're creating with, and
Yep.
it's good. I think he did a capable job. I was
like
very happy
the,
with
on,
the fighting.
the,
and
the onboarding procedure for directors seems to be working pretty well. Like nothing ever glares out like, oh, this one stands out as a poorly directed episode. No, they all fit together.
Mhm.
They do. It's very concise. So, yeah. So I guess let's just go ahead and get to the breakdown and
That sounds good.
get it going. Let's see. So we start with the Chimera docked on top of that fortress hill, which gives us a really good look at the art on the
Mhm.
bottom of the Star
It's
Destroyer.
great.
It's I don't remember what it's supposed to be, but it looks pretty dang awesome. And also it kind of also showcases the fact that the main 3 engines on the back of this Star Destroyer are kaput.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no hyperdrive.
Yeah, I mean one's halfway gone and the other 2 are clearly non-functional.
Inoperable.
At least,
yeah.
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 Like
they're
there's
not
literally
even-
battle damage around one of them.
yeah.
And we get a little line from Ezra later in the episode, and we'll talk about it when we get to it, where he references them rebuilding it,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
rebuilding the Chimera. Yeah. As well as waking up the sisters or the Night Mothers. So that's an
Mhm.
interesting little drop
Oh,
there, where Ezra says, "Yeah, Thrawn rebuilt the Chimera and woke up the Night Mothers." So,
So they were
that's
probably in the
interesting.
tombs too.
Yeah, maybe. Or were they in stasis, hiding from something? We don't know. They only kind
well,
of.
I mean, it definitely makes more sense of why they would be loyal to him
Mm-hmm.
rather than it's
Right.
just somebody,
right.
some
Good
guy
point.
that they ran into. You know, it's like, why should they
Mhm.
trust him? Oh, he woke us from our hibernation or slumber, whatever they want to, however they phrase it.
And he's shown the
Yes.
proper deference to their authority. Like
Yeah, he's kind of using them as a force buff. Like he's not force sensitive,
Mhm.
but he's like,
Right.
I recognize you guys have some kind of weird power. I'm gonna,
you
you
got
know?
some magics.
Yeah.
just like he does with everybody else. He's
Well,
using them as a tool.
The only people that really handed
Yep.
him his defeat was Ezra, really, a Jedi.
Mhm.
Or
He mentions
by-
he even mentions there's a
Yeah.
line about that in the next couple shots that oh no, at the end of the episode. He
Right.
mentions that I've lost to a Jedi before. I've fallen victim to their heroics. So he's like,
Right.
never again.
Right.
Yeah, but great shot. I would love a model of the Chimera with the with the artwork on the bottom or a poster or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be like a cool Lego,
Mhm.
like a like you know how they do the Lego helmets, like to have
Mhm.
like the Chimera sitting on top of that castle. That'd be a pretty cool diorama.
Yeah, the fortress is a stand for it, so that'd be sick. I wonder. I haven't looked at the end of action report, like how the ratings for this show. I wonder if there was enough to like do merchandising for it or anything like that.
I mean, there's
I'll
some
have-
merch, but Christmas is coming. Winter
Always
is
Yeah.
time
coming.
for merch.
Yeah, all the stuff that I've seen. I had mentioned the Balin figure. It's coming out in
yeah.
February, so they're a little behind the curve. You know how long it takes
Oh,
to
wow.
tool
They
up,
always
make the
they're
machines and
always
prototype. I
Mhm.
know.
they need to fix that.
They didn't
But,
know they didn't know that it would be a big deal. Like it's just like
Star
Baby
Wars
Yoda.
won't be a big thing. Let's not make anything. Come on.
Pretty much.
Well-
Who's the only one on the ball? Lego.
Yeah. Lego.
Yeah, because they can tool up fast.
Spoiling
because they have the
scenes
parts,
since the licensing began.
right?
Yep.
Right.
Speaking of spoiling scenes, there was a spoiler that happened like literally before the show came out, and we didn't like know it was a spoiler until last week, basically.
What's that?
Uh,
Thrawn walking onto the bridge.
no, Morgan Elsbeth versus Ahsoka. She'd like spoiled that stuff like months ago, like literally before like
Oh.
the press even started.
Oh
Like,
yeah. She
but-
doesn't
Yeah, and
know
also
better.
Emily brings up a good point about merchandising.
Yeah, how are they?
Yeah, they didn't know. They didn't know it would be a big hit. That was blindsided by that.
Who is they? That's like the Star Trek fan that works at Disney who's like trying
Wow.
to bury Star Wars all
Maybe,
the time.
maybe,
Is that what it is? Like,
maybe.
but-
or the
I-
person,
who makes
or the person that was in charge of that John Carpenter from Mars movie? That's what it is.
to be
It's the
fair,
person who was in charge of that movie is still mad that their
Hey.
their thing didn't do as good as Star Wars. So they buried
Lobo.
Solo. They buried.
Lobo,
we should
to
get
be
back to
fair, there is episode 8 and 9 figures still sitting on shelves that didn't
Oh, yeah.
sell. Rose Tico, I mean, walls of them.
Who- Yeah, I would say that
know?
person who buried Solo and didn't go forward on merch for Mando and for this and
Yes.
Kenobi. It's just the same person's probably, you know,
They should
forcing
know the
people's
difference
hands.
between Yoda figures and like a Rose Tico, like, you know, and no shade at the actress, that's not her fault, okay? But they should know the difference between like the popularity of these characters. Like,
Ye-
yeah, I mean,
It's impossible for the merchandising and toy companies to like keep up with it because they're not given any material before. They're given like the same.
and it takes
promotional
6
sheets.
months, 7
Like they
months
just
to tool
describe a
up.
character. They like describe a
Yeah.
character as like their ideal, and then like here, go make a toy of this, and here's what this
You know,
person looks like in test
it-
shots of in their costume.
In
Like-
all fairness, they didn't have the original 1977
No,
action figures available on time either, but they should have learned from that.
Yeah,
I know. It's
then,
hard,
like,
the
but
toy
you're right,
industry's
though.
hard.
they're
And also-
definitely overestimating their like market. Like,
I agree with them 100%. 100%.
Yeah. I would love to see George's scripts. I think a lot of people have always like wondered what that would have been.
Mhm.
The only hint that we got from George is after he saw episode 7, he said, "Where are the children?" So there would have been children of like, you know, Luke would have had a children, things like that. I guess. I don't
Right.
know.
So,
Oh, well.
with all that being said, let's get
Mhm.
back to the review
Yeah.
of the show.
Back to the finale.
we got an opening shot.
That
and
was
that's
a-
all we got,
That was a great diversion.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so after that opening shot, we get Thrawn, Morgan Elsbeth, and what's that other guy, the gold face dude, Enoch?
You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
I was hoping to get more of him too. That's part of my disappointment, but I guess we'll have to wait till the next.
You know, they made these stormtroopers pretty formidable, and yeah, we have to get more of it because it just looks too cool. They can't have another wasted, cool looking character like, I don't know, Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool character, not well executed, you know, like maybe
Exactly.
not used well. Oh well.
It's like a character design with nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like, man, I would write. I mean, if I had a character that cool, I would write a whole storyline. I mean, that's what happens to a lot of Star Wars characters. They're
Well-
like cool design, and they're like, we got to put this in the movie. We got to do a whole backstory now. You know, it happens a lot.
The deleted her deleted death is kind of all right though, if you haven't seen it. I doubt you have, because your
Deleted
love of
death?
that movie. The Captain Phasma death scene was different at first. Like
Oh.
he convinces like a bunch of stormtroopers to turn against her, and then she just ends up blasting them all.
Oh. No, I didn't see that.
No, it's out there. It's out there without like special effects, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, right after that little breakdown, the little people talking, Morgan Elsbeth gets a promotion.
She gets jumped in.
She gets jumped into the main clique.
Yeah.
And yeah, they I'm trying to wait for the good spot.
Thrawn looks he's a little uncomfortable watching this, but he knows it's necessary. Like he's
plus he's already like he knows that the inevitable has already happened though. He's like,
right.
It's nothing they can really do at this point. What they can do is stop us now, he says.
Right. I was kind of expecting
it's her saying it.
Yeah.
Like, about that. About that. He rebuffs like the idea of like, oh yeah.
Well, no, I think Thrawn fully enjoys watching this because he's pretty cool with learning about new cultures. That's always kind of been his thing. For being a bad guy, he's kind of,
we're probably gonna get a book that covers his time on Peridea, because like he's probably seen some stuff. He's probably seen these Night Mothers do some freaky stuff.
Oh yeah,
in his time there, like rise from the dead maybe first. And he seems to know what happens. Later on we'll talk about it to those stormtroopers, like what's going to happen to them. So he's probably seen that too before.
Right, like these probably the magic. But I just wanted to the
where are we at now?
The burning.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
The branding, basically, of her
obsidian eyes.
Yeah, and when she comes away from this, she looks like she has like the color kind of sucked out of her face. She looks way more
turning
pale.
into one of them.
Yeah.
One of us.
Yeah. I mean, she gets she got the black markings there. Her cheeks are kind of like they're not sunk in, they're marked by the other person's hands, but still it looks pretty ominous. Pretty ominous for sure.
Yeah, she leveled up.
She did. A lot of good that'll do her though. But and then they
I like
summon
asking her if she's willing to make the sacrifice of her life, and then asking her to do it.
Yeah, I think the Night Mothers are kind of know what's about to happen. They have so they're like, but we're gonna give you the best chance to like execute your mission.
So they summon a weapon, and what do they call it again? The Blade of Townsend.
Townsend, yeah, which is the character from the Clone Wars. That's a cool effect. It's green flame. Cool.
But so Mother Townsend is yes. They gave her Lightbringer.
Yep.
But it's a pretty cool looking sword. It's almost got kind of
it's a dowel. It's tiny dowel.
I mean, look at that handle though. It's awesome.
I just appreciate that they gave her basically one of the traditional martial arts weapons.
Yeah.
It's the broadsword. It's and that's how she fights with it. Like
that makes sense.
Right, because I think I've pointed out a couple times that actress is also like the martial arts coordinator person for for this show.
Yeah, that's great that we got to see her some more action from her.
Totally.
I'm gonna miss her character, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
Maybe we'll see her again. Because they do some freaky stuff, those Night Mothers.
Right. All right. So after that little segment, we get the Ahsoka title splash screen, and
This is great.
And I cracked up when I saw this. Just the
The title screen, yeah.
title. It's like, really.
It's almost like a fairy tale.
Yeah, it's almost like a C.S. Lewis novel. What?
Yep.
Yeah, so we get I'm trying to get it. The wagon train now has air support, which is pretty.
I didn't even know ships could fly that slow.
I don't.
Yeah, they're like burning out their repulsors trying to stay that slow.
Well, I mean, they can't really. I don't know. I mean, is it held there by the force? Like, what's?
No, they're just hovering.
Yeah, they're just in. Yeah.
But it is honestly, it is a very vulnerable situation. But I guess they don't have any other place to hide. They're literally just buying time so Homie can build his blade.
Right. So Ezra, who didn't need a lightsaber last episode,
I know,
now needs to build one. So
180 degrees is like, actually, I need to strap up.
Right. No, like once he had his little blaster action, he's like, oh yeah, weapons are kind of handy.
Yeah. So he's been on vacation for a while, I guess, man, because he was like, I guess I do need to, fight.
Well, I mean, if
it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right at the time.
Right. Yeah, I get it. It's been a long time.
But yeah, how about that design he picked?
Wait, what? Say that again.
How about the lightsaber design he ended up with, huh?
Oh yeah.
It kind of has a hilt.
Yeah.
It's
like a cross guard.
Well, no, he built basically the same lightsaber
his master's
that
lightsaber.
His master had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is isn't that kind of sort of what happens in Jedi Fallen Order? And
I mean, it's appropriate that he follows in his master's footsteps. The dialogue in the scene is great, though. Like, how old are you?
I really
you don't
feel like
you don't have a system. You have a method.
Yeah, that's it.
Hu Yang finds out that his master was Kanan Jarrus or Caleb Doom, as like he knows. Oh, Kanan is
Kanan Jarrus, and then he refers to him as Caleb. Yeah, he never says they never say the last name, but he does.
No,
Hu Yang does
just
refer to him as Caleb.
Yeah.
So,
and then the question, Hu Yang ignores the question about how old he is. He kind of like sidesteps that one. Kind of like he's embarrassed about it.
There is a lot of like deliberate omittance of
deflection
of
he is how many percentage original parts did he say he was? He's 46.6%, like original. So that's pretty good for someone 25,000, like for being 25,000 years old.
Somebody pointed out he is the oldest just object on Star Wars on screen.
Yes,
Yes,
he was
other than like landscapes,
he was there at the founding.
So, and also he has all the stories and shade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he has plenty of shade.
He can grill everybody.
You're a good student.
Oh. He can burn Ahsoka. Like he's great. He's got some zingers.
He burned like how many people with that one line? Like that was a multi-pronged attack.
Which line?
When he said that like you were a good student, the way he says it, like even like complimenting like someone else comes out as an insult to Sabine and like everything related.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's why when Ezra gets his lightsaber set up and goes to ask Sabine, has Ahsoka ever taught you? She's already gone.
Mm-hmm.
She's already split.
I'm not standing for this.
I'm not gonna no. But,
yeah, he's sassy. Hu Yang is sassy, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch a whole show based on him.
Yeah,
this is like a wellspring. This series of like new characters and like forks that can take off.
Right,
like him training Jedi 10,000 years ago, 15,000 years ago, earlier. Maybe we'll see him again in the Acolyte. That's possible, right? He should be around back then.
Right.
That's only like 200 years.
I didn't notice this before. Ezra's got a pretty good scar on his cheek there.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we'll ever get the story behind that.
Yeah, maybe they'll cover it in the books.
Ezra, like I thought he was a good casting after the first episode he was in. After this episode, whoever did the casting for him, like they found the perfect guy.
Yeah, I agree. They nailed it.
He's one of the best animation to live action, like, you know, without it being the same person. Like, you know.
Yeah, it isn't easy,
like,
and they nailed it.
Yeah.
Him looking around for all those parts, that was great. Like just like opening drawers, and Hu Yang's like thousands of year old stockpile of lightsaber parts.
But also at the end of that scene, Hu Yang tells Ezra about the Purge of Mandalore.
Yes. So, great point.
And what happened between that up.
So that and that set off a whole firestorm in the Star Wars community, because now it kind of nails down the timeline about when the Night of 1,000 Tears happened. It happened after Jedi now, so that's confirmed by this dialogue. And most likely it was part of Operation Cinder. And if you played those games, it was basically the scorched earth policy Palpatine had. If I die, the entire galaxy burns. So that Gideon probably got the order as soon as Palpatine died. The orders went out: destroy Mandalore, destroy all these other planets too. You see it in the games, but like, yeah, dude. So that kind of fits a big piece of the timeline puzzle in Star Wars into place when the Siege of Mandalore happened, and that fits with the Filoni verse and the Mando verse and all that. It makes sense that they would kind of lock that down. But great stuff. Yeah, that's great stuff. So yeah, Sabine, and later on they mentioned Ahsoka was afraid to train her. I don't know if I'm getting ahead of ourselves here, but because she was so angry about the Siege of Mandalore. I mean, not the Siege of Mandalore.
That's where that scene ends.
Okay, let's go.
No, I mean, you're right on.
On the right scene. Yeah, so that's why she was afraid to train her, because she was probably going to turn dark side if she became a Force user.
Yeah,
like her whole family got wiped out in the Night of 1,000 Tears. So yeah,
she has pretty good reasons to be like angry. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who can blame her? Who can blame her?
And a Mandalorian way of thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And her also being a Mandalorian who, you know, engineers weapons.
She could have been very destructive.
For
sure, and big still time. Could be, because now she actually. Well, we're getting ahead of it. So
right.
Yeah. Moving along.
Yeah, I should have watched this episode a second time.
Great point though about that. Great point about mentioning the training and the timeline there. That was great.
Yeah. But
you think we'll see Gideon again, or is he actually dead? Different show, but he dead, right?
I didn't see a corpse.
No corpse. Nobody.
And clones were already shown to exist.
Literally, like there was like 100 clones in that episode. So who knows?
So he literally they showed his clones too. So yeah.
So I'm gonna go to the escape pods. You take care of this.
But I hope I kind of hope not, though. Continuing what I've already said about like make the universe smaller rather than like, or make the universe bigger rather than continuing to keep like the same characters and families and small stories.
Oh, just before we move on, I'd love to see in live action like a flashback to the beginning of Operation Cinder, when like there's these cool evil red robots that have Palpatine's holographic head that go like destroy everything, like giving orders to all the captains and admirals and stuff like that. I would love to see that.
That sounds like something out of Warhammer 20K.
No, it happened 40, in that previous game.
40K.
Hey Marty, we just got it. You should put that on screen.
Oh no, then he'll really get us.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He got us. Yeah. He got us.
But also, Emily also put about Hu Yang being surprised that Anakin was thoughtful, because no one thought Anakin was anything but
dangerous.
He's
just dangerous.
So, back to the show.
Very well.
While Hu Yang is telling Ezra about Mandalore, Sabine's outside on the hull of the ship talking to Ahsoka, and Ahsoka's basically like, you know, we're gonna take things a little different. You know, we'll get along a little bit better. We'll start, you know, training a little bit better, and they get interrupted by TIE fighters.
Yeah,
because
What I enjoyed most about this, well, I mean, I enjoyed this little scene is the sounds. There's a certain TIE fighter lock-on sound.
Oh yeah,
Like that sound of like a target lock. It was in there, and like, of course, they put it in there. You know, that's the sound of a TIE fighter target lock.
oh yeah.
It's like a little beep tone, and then
Right,
the firing pattern.
Yeah, so the TIE fighters do enough damage to Ahsoka's or to Huyang's ship that it's about to drop on all the
I know.
caravan.
Could you not
So
just be
they're-
like right over them, like the most vulnerable spot and also the most dangerous spot for everybody?
Yeah.
Great
This
job.
is
Right.
this is not the milk run
No,
this
also
ship is
it's-
built for.
it's also it's like it's low enough where it's like, you know, it's advertising where they're at.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
They could even have been adjacent to them just so like to focus the fire away from the
Right.
caravan. But whatever. I mean,
Or be at a proper operational altitude and orbiting. Keeping
Yeah.
keeping
combat air
Overwatch.
patrol.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, so Ahsoka uses the ship as a battering ram to take out the two TIE fighters, which
Mhm.
ultimately causes
That was a cool.
the ship
wait,
to
doesn't
fully
Sab-
crash.
Doesn't Sabine
So I
pilots
meant,
it?
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Sabine. But
Give her
And who-
credit for that.
she
Huyang-
kind of does it with Ahsoka and Ezra underneath it, giving it kind of a
A push.
Yeah.
extra little force
Little-
push.
Yeah.
Yep, they do the force thing.
Once
They
again,
did their
Huyang
they
is
did their wavy hand thing. What is
Mhm.
Grief Cargo say? Do the wavy hand thing.
Do the wavy hand thing, baby.
Uh-huh. I want a T-shirt that says that. Let me write that down.
It's probably out there somewhere on like
I'm sure.
T
on eBay.
Fury or
Mhm. Or some AI basically just heard us say it and is now stealing it and
Yeah.
marketing it on Twitter.
some robot is making it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows Grief like this with his hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's my T-shirt business.
so yeah, so Hu Yang's barely get. I don't know. It almost looks like they die at one point, or Sabine came out and Hu Yang did not.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
they kind of
when
shot it like.
Crash the ship or figure it out later. It was very
Mhm.
Anakin.
Mhm.
So he passed that to Ahsoka, who passed it to Sabine. Anakin's
Yeah,
training in full. of
Anakin
force.
doesn't care.
no.
The most expensive starfighters in the world is just like toss it away.
This isn't impulsive. This is trusting the Force.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Definitely.
since their air vehicles down, Thrawn orders his guys to prepare for a ground assault.
Yeah, which is
It's-
cool. That's a throwback to the Empire. I
Yeah.
also like the fact that Thrawn takes the time to cite the captain. He's like, let's give the captain
Yeah.
a citation for accomplishing the mission. Like he
Right.
doesn't miss anything.
No,
And they
he's
even
like,
they write it in there specifically, like
those
okay, he accomplished his mission, so cite the captain of that. I don't know if the captain was the one who died in the mission or just like their squadron lead. I don't know how that works, but
The TIE Fighter squad lead, probably.
was it a posthumous
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
posthumous. Like, yeah.
posthumous citation?
Right.
Okay. Wow, dude, that he actually cares. Who would've
right.
thought?
Thrawn was kind of like, he
Like, does
he
his
joined-
family get an extra bonus? Like, it's just so funny to me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very meticulous. That's a good word. Very meticulous.
Right.
Mhm.
So
That's part of his charm as a character.
so back at the Night Mother fortress, we have Morgan Elsbeth talking to the, what are they called, night troopers.
Mhm.
And she's saying that the blessings of the Night Mothers shall aid them in their battle,
Yeah.
protect them. And I didn't even realize she said this. Go now, let none pass.
Because it's
Very,
it's cool
very
as
Lords of the
hell.
Rings.
Yeah. That kicks ass. It's an awesome way to put it.
Yeah. So and they're, whoa, what did I do?
What did you do?
What do you do?
Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing on my.
The way they were talking, I was like, what's going to happen to these? Like, okay, first of all, when Thrawn says, do they understand what's going to happen? Like, I figured like they're going to be left behind. That's what I thought initially.
Mhm.
And that they were going
Right.
to die there, like
Well-
for the Empire. And she says, for Dathomir.
Yeah, I
She was-
figured. Yep. I figured it was just going to be like fight to the death.
Yeah, and which they do. several
Oh,
times.
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
We established.
I think that kind of did away with the theory that they were already like reanimated. So,
but they it also leaves open the door that this has happened before. They've reanimated other ones that were not these guys, but other ones have been reanimated temporarily. Apparently, this reanimation is temporary with this Dathomir magic.
Yeah,
like it doesn't last forever.
No,
it's
but
like
it can be
a necromancer.
But it can be recast on the same corpse.
Yeah, apparently so.
Over and
over again. That's pretty gruesome. I like that.
Yeah,
this is a cool shot.
True undeath.
This is definitely a screen cap shot. Look at that.
Right? They just keep rebuffing.
Yep.
Yeah, she's spamming her cast button.
Yeah. So yeah, we get that's how big that ring is compared to a Star Destroyer. So it's freaking massive.
Yep.
It is.
So
yeah.
Oh.
And then we get a line from Ezra explaining why he never came back here to try to fight. It was just too dangerous.
Just fucking bad news.
Yeah. I mean, how do you kill that which will not die? Oh, wait, no, what is it? How do you kill that which has no life? Is that the South Park thing?
Yep.
Oh. So yeah, so Hu Yang's trying to fix the ship.
Along with the Noti. The Noti seem quite technically capable, but not like the most
they're no Bob Fix.
No. But they're okay. I mean, they keep their ships running, right?
Yeah.
They're little cars.
They do, they do have to have some technical ability because they hooked Ezra up with it. Ezra didn't build those things. Those little guys had that.
And they made a bigger one. They made a
for some reason I thought
there.
like Ezra would like help them out.
Oh yeah, Emily, they're like whites in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They're thralls.
What is dead may never die. Yep.
I mean, when you start dealing with necromancy.
Yeah. So we get Ahsoka and Ezra rushing the front door, trying to open the gate with the Force. Ahsoka is, Ezra is, and then Sabine's told to help as well.
Yeah.
So,
she's like a toddler. Like a toddler helps. Yeah. I can pretend to help. But you get Thrawn saying rain hellfire on them.
No,
That's
you get
his classic move.
They're raining. Yeah, it is definitely
He likes to spam his artillery on this. This is the second time. He did it last time and did it this time again. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He looked my reaction to when he looked kind of pissed. That's the first time I have seen him like annoyed. Like he's a little
look at that.
I also like that he like
that's the most you're gonna get ever from him.
That V in his forehead got way more defined.
Yeah.
He's more disappointed. He's not angry. He's more disappointed in his boys, in our
I also jumping back to the very beginning of it, I did appreciate when he said there's no negotiating with like the disciple of like Anakin Skywalker. It's like
right. Yeah.
In every sense of the word. Like he's like, there's no talking her out of this. So we just gotta fight it out.
Oh yeah, let's have a philosophical discussion over this.
Yeah. It's not like he would try anyway, but he's like, they're not gonna stop to chat.
No.
Or negotiate. So it's just
hostile negotiations.
Aggressive negotiations.
Yes.
It's kind of a cool.
Yeah, and she also gets pinged in the head. Sabine gets pinged in the head in this scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, she gets pinged a lot,
but
she
blocks another. She blocks another headshot with the gauntlet again. So like
the Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Yeah. No, she blocked a few with her gauntlet, but it's like as many times as she gets hit in the head, nothing is correcting her attitude, which is severely needed. But
like blasters, also blasters.
Yeah, that's Ahsoka's like, what are you doing with your lightsaber out? Get your guns out.
I know.
Start shooting.
Shoot
people.
And then as soon as she starts doing that, they start dropping like flies.
Yeah,
I mean, she's not used to like, she's not,
she's not really good at deflecting them directly back to people.
Well,
She dropped
yeah,
like 3 people immediately. Well,
but she's
3
also
troopers.
like, who's she been fighting with? Like, she's been on Lothal kicking it. Like, no one's,
Mhm.
no one's, you know.
Yeah.
She's integrating the lightsaber into her fighting style. It's still not perfect yet.
Right. So they clear that room. So all those soldiers are dead. But then we get the Night Sisters doing their voodoo, and we can see the
I was
green
like,
glow
oh, here we go.
going into all these guys, lighting up. And
Zombies.
I can't see
Perfect
that being
time for Halloween.
a pretty hot Halloween costume.
Yes.
Stormtrooper armor with the bandages, and then
Yes.
a couple LED lights inside the Stormtrooper helmet to get that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this on a
glow.
previous episode. I mentioned that it won't
it
take that
is-
long. You could probably have it ready by Halloween if you started right when you first saw them in the first episode of
If
the
you
season.
had no, if you had a
No.
Stormtrooper armor
Spray it
already,
with-
you're good to go. If you need to put together the whole thing, you're looking at next year.
Yeah.
to get
It does
the
take a while. It takes a
armor.
while to get your custom armors.
Yeah.
They put a patina on it, you know, with that
you're not-
dingy look. Maybe they have really old armor that's already kind of dirty, so that helps.
No, it's all being used here. No.
You gotta get your black
Those are all
black
the-
jumpsuit underneath that.
Yeah, those are all the people that own that armor. They're in this scene.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a couple of them can take them home and use them.
It's probably 501st recruited extras again. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I would.
I
be
mean,
doing
how
at this
cool is
point.
that you can be a cosplayer and if you do well enough, you could actually be in the universe yourself.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
another cool thing about Star
And you could
Wars.
like die like 30 times.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah,
could get
I was
in-
Stormtrooper number 3 in episode 4 of The Mandalorian. I was Stormtrooper number.
I was a clone.
like-
I was a clone trooper in the background on this one.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Now, to just to make a point though, we have seen zombie clone troopers before, but these are zombie stormtroopers now. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool to see. Like,
Well, yeah, but the zombie clone troopers though were
an infection.
an infection.
It was like a worm.
This is straight
Yeah.
magic.
This is straight magic. This is great. Great. So people were like, I don't like the magic in my Star Wars. Like, did you?
Have you ever heard of the Force, dude?
Yeah, this is a fantasy. It's heavy on the fantasy science fiction opera, space opera.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I appreciated when
I would
you
love
could
to have
do
a
it.
big 3D printer. If
Yeah.
anybody
you
out there's
could.
got a big 3D printer, let me know.
Mhm. But you have to do a lot of prep work probably because
And black spandex.
because they got like little lines and stuff from where it like feeds the stuff, so you really have to like polish it and put a lot of work
Yeah.
into it, smooth it out.
Really.
But yeah, I'm sure you could. I'm sure people are printing out pieces at least.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Oh, what I was gonna say is when Ezra gets grabbed by one of the zombie troopers and like Sabine points the gun at him, it's like pointing the gun right at him, like careful, careful. Or like,
right.
Why? Because too close?
well, she's pointing a gun directly at him, like 2 feet away. They're like really close, and like, yeah,
Back blast.
it's just like they're struggling like back and forth. And yeah, if you had your friend with a gun, you'd still be, like, nervous about like,
Uh-huh.
don't shoot me.
He was being held by the
Yeah.
trooper.
So I couldn't tell, but are these guys are that like the death troopers?
Yeah, these are like literal death troopers, and that's another thing that set the internet on storm.
Yeah.
Talking about cosplay, man, these are going to be some popular with like a half broken helmet with like a jaw showing. Yeah,
Pretty sick. Pretty sick.
right. That's a cool costume, man.
And this is when Morgan says for Dathomir. So when basically when she's told
Oh,
you're staying behind with these
Yeah.
soldiers, sorry, we got better
Yeah.
things to do. Maybe
Thrawn making those executive decisions.
yeah. But
It was- it
prior
was
to
the-
that, I forgot to point out they started going up the stairs, and they're fighting up the stairs for a while before they started closing the freaking blast doors.
I know.
Mhm.
Why, like I was
Close the blast doors. Close the
Yeah.
blast doors.
yeah.
The classic
So-
Star Wars move.
right? So they get to the point where it's Morgan is by herself in a chamber, and they Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra all run in the room, and Ahsoka's like, "Go do the thing. I'll take care of this." And Sabine's actually like, "No, we got to stick together this time." And Ahsoka's, "No, go. I got this." And we get another cool, cozy kind of showdown before a good fight. And these two just throw a little bit.
Good choreography.
They got some real cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
I wonder if Morgan, the actress, actually choreographed this scene.
Yeah, no, else. Fully. I'm sure she did fully. Because it's awesome. Like they're just, rehearsing it with breakable stuff, then returning it with the, doing it with the hero props.
Yeah, now to mention that, like, when she spoiled it, she talked about how it was like an actual multi-day thing, like,
I'm sure,
actually exhausting, like having to do all this. I don't think she mentioned, like, I don't remember reading if she did actually choreograph, but I think probably.
So here's another
amazing and you know, when I saw that it was like going to be a Dow that she had, it's like, oh, she's gonna actually get to touch her blade. Like,
yeah,
because the lightsaber user does not get to like have the distance of their blade, basically, like that.
And that was a good move. Like, they actually have she actually has a real blade as opposed to a lightsaber, so you get some contrast there.
Right. So Ezra and Sabine advance to the next room, and Ezra kind of, if there was any doubt about the Death Troopers being undead troopers, Ezra straight impales one right through the chest, and it keeps on fighting him.
Yeah,
it's like meaner than an HK droid.
He kind of looks at him like, sorry, I stabbed you. Like,
yeah.
The comedy is so good, but what just increases the danger of like all those caskets, or what I think are caskets that they loaded up. Like, imagine an army of these dudes.
So
but with like way more power and witch powers and stuff.
Yes.
I think it's like, imagine it a way more if they're not just the troopers, if it's like straight
Night
the Dathomir witches, the Witchers, because they bring them they go to Dathomir, like that's their destination, right?
Yep.
I mean, that might be their source of power. All those witches, all the witches that were killed on Dathomir can inhabit those bodies, probably.
I have a feeling that they are just using Thrawn to get back home, and they're planning to take over. So I wonder if Thrawn probably realizes this too. He's like, you're using me, I'm using you. So he's probably got an ace in his pocket too.
Who's going to land the double cross first?
Exactly.
And then that happened.
Yeah, that the music even. I think I heard the first theme when she was pulling the lightsaber. That same feeling, when you're like, "Come on, Luke, pull the lightsaber!" Like she did it.
She did the thing, though. The thing you're not supposed to do.
Yep.
She did
the thing. Yep.
She extended her lightsaber as an actual weapon. Like, that's not right.
Oh yeah, right into.
But at least she didn't do it during the lightsaber fight.
But the thing that she killed was already dead.
Oh, you mean like how they also like obstructed Ezra cutting the Death Trooper's head off?
Yeah.
Like the pillar like slides right in front of the perfect time. I thought that was brilliant. Like
it was.
Wait, what pillar?
Oh, so when like Ezra cuts off the head of the Death Trooper, there's a pillar from the thing that goes right in front of it as it happens. So you see the lightsaber, like the end of it, and then the thing comes in, and then you see the head falling off behind it.
That's a good way to like hide that cut there. That's great. But yeah, Glenn Close as Mother Talzin would be great. That's what
that would be a casting coup.
That would be amazing.
I hope they can afford
amazing. Her. I don't know. So while that fight was going on, Thrawn has ordered the Chimera to take off. So they're starting to pull away, and they're going to do the alley-oop move from Rebels.
Yep.
Which Ezra doing a force jump and then getting pushed the rest of the way by the other force user, and it looks like he falls slightly short, but it's just a normal Ezra move.
That's a classic. That's a classic Star Wars thing trope.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's always people have bad connotations with tropes. Like bad tropes are not good, but like good ones, these are familiar things that we like to see.
Also, who comes up with it too? I think Sabine comes up with the idea to do it. Like,
oh yeah, you're right.
Like she's finally understanding.
Yeah, she's feeling confident now about the.
It's like no problem. Like, yeah, I could push you.
Right.
We got to do this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's also Ahsoka loses one of her lightsabers to the fight with with Morgan.
So she's a one lightsaber Jedi again.
And also Sabine decides not to make the jump herself because she sees Ahsoka is still battling Morgan.
Yeah.
And
I just realized, I was like, oh, she could just build a new lightsaber, but she doesn't have the crystal anymore. It gets destroyed in the bombardment, right? She didn't stop and pick up the crystal, probably.
Oh, but we don't know.
No, but where did Ezra's crystal come from?
People think that it was his crystal from this very first lightsaber, and like he kept it this whole time.
Or they're literally in a craft shop for lightsabers. Like, I know that you have to go.
I don't think there's any crystals in the ship though, but maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Or it was parts from the that dude who got vaporized in episode 6. That the one with the spinning lightsaber blade.
Merrick.
Is that dude's name? Merrick. Yeah, that guy. I already forgot.
Can
his
you
name.
heal a blood crystal, make it from a red back to?
Can you de-blood it?
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure.
I don't know.
But single lightsaber Ahsoka is still pretty dangerous. So look back on
right. But like all the fights that she had, aside from this one, even this one, she lands the kill blow on this fight with 2 weapons.
Yeah,
she disarms Morgan. All the other fights that we see her in this series, if she's one-handed, she doesn't clearly win. When she's two-handed, she wins.
Is that a disadvantage? Definitely.
And that was but so we
Ezra
got
being Ezra. There we go.
Ezra being Ezra.
Yep.
Getting his stormtrooper outfit on.
That is a classic Star Wars trope too. Grabbing a stormtrooper and dragging them off screen.
But also like
Ezra has a
checking in.
Hey, down there.
Stormtrooper voice.
Can you give us a hand with this?
Yeah.
He put on the stormtrooper voice.
Yeah. No, everything's okay. Everything's fine here though. Thank you for that. Thank you for the heads up. That's great. I chuckle every time that's up.
Here's another Thrawn looking very miffed.
Dude, don't disappoint my boy here, man. No. Like he put a lot of thought and effort into this. Don't be making him purse his lips.
Yeah, here we go. Emily's got a good idea. Crystals from the Padawans are too responsible to keep their secrets.
Maybe
it is the lightsaber skill box, skill ship. So
yeah. I mean, yeah.
There could be some on Peridea, they could be on any planet. There's no rule against.
Right. Oh yeah, that does take kind of a beating, doesn't it? So they tried to so I kind of skipped it and I just showed it instead. Sabine and Ahsoka escape those troopers by jumping off the side of the castle, landing on Huyang's ship, which goes directly into pursuit of the Star Destroyer, which is the thing that was shooting at the fortress to slow them down, because Thrawn's only real ally is time at this point. And they're getting into position to jump, and that little tiny ship is chasing them. What were we going to say?
Oh no, go ahead. I had a question about Huyang's ship, but I don't want to derail this scene. It's a pivotal scene.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm showing it. I'd like to, but I can't.
You get Thrawn talking some mad smack on them.
I could do some. Thrawn calls them to talk smack. Yeah, that's kind of. Right. But he also gives props. He's like, I won, but you were good. You know, sorry, we're not going to meet face to face. Maybe we won't.
He probably is really sorry that they're not.
He says perhaps we never will. He doesn't discount it completely.
But I do your master.
So.
And he drops something because there was an earlier scene in an earlier episode where Baylan kind of hints at like, you know, Ahsoka's relationship with Darth Vader. And now Thrawn is the same thing. He's like, maybe I'm doing the other galaxy a favor by stranding you here. That's kind of the intimation that I got from because maybe you can be your
methodologies, your methods.
And she's like, oh, how dare you? You know, like. Yeah,
who knows? Maybe season 2 she goes full on Colonel Kurtz and like has a cult to her in the other galaxy.
Maybe, or maybe Shin does. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Shin turns into
Colonel Kurtz
because like she has her like he wants power and all she has is little, you know, the Meridian Raiders. So
and a lightsaber.
I was really disappointed that Baylan and Shin didn't really take part in this last.
So this is where we're getting into when I mentioned disappointment in this episode. This is like, oh, we need another hour. Please give us some like at least a little bit of what's going on, and we didn't quite get that.
Yep.
But they did give us other stuff. We'll get to it when we get to it here shortly.
Yeah, no, I mean we're pretty much there. So Thrawn and the Night Sisters, what's his name again? Enoch. Enoch and not everything that was aboard that ship makes the jump, causes a crazy ripple wave that almost tears apart Huyang's ship. And
don't be close to that thing when it jumps to hyperspace. Apparently,
no,
it messes up gravity.
Yeah,
big time.
So, yeah, so we get the basically the equivalent of the Jedi Return of the Jedi end. Here's a little peaceful ending with with the little creatures.
There's a couple more scenes though. I don't know if they come after this or like those are like pivotal scenes. Those are important little clips.
What do you mean, like the little character close-ups? Is that what you're talking about?
No, the scene you see Dathomir, and then you see Ezra. Are we skipping that, or did we skip that?
No, that hasn't gotten there yet.
Okay.
That's kind of what I was referring to as character close-ups.
Like, it's basically it's catching up with like where everybody is now at the new position of everything.
Okay. Let's unpack each one of those.
Ahsoka and Sabine find the Nodi again, who are like rebuilding, like doing their thing. Shin shows up to the Marauders,
Meridian Raiders or whatever. Marauders,
and then basically shows the lightsaber. And like,
I'm in charge now.
Iron Fist. Like this is why I'm in charge without even having to say anything.
Not small consolation for what she was trying to be like in charge of the Empire, and now she's just
she's just in charge of
loser.
Some Raiders.
Yeah,
but you skipped this one.
I did skip that one.
I wanted to talk about it. I didn't know what order they happened. I don't remember.
Well, this is the first. This is the first one.
So this is a Morai Owl.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, which is the daughter. So in those episodes of Clone Wars, the daughter of the Mortis gods sacrifices. She puts her life into Ahsoka to bring her back to life, and at the end of it, she kind of changes into an owl, is represented by an owl, which we see here. Some people noted that the owl is more white now instead of green, kind of reflecting that Ahsoka turned white. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's just a colored grading thing, but that's interesting. Interesting thing there. So she kind of smiles and nods, like, okay, this is a nod to the daughter. Which some people are comparing it to like Norse mythology and all this other stuff too, but I don't want to get that deep into it because I'm not familiar.
But even a Force spirit could even find her all the way across the galaxy.
She's a spirit animal.
Well, no problem considering what also
there was that, and then we got like you said,
the cliffhanger.
Shin showing up to the Marauders and flashing her blade like, "Yo, this is me. Remember me?
You all my bees."
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that movie.
That's a cool shot though. And we
I am
get
Shin
and we get
Hati,
Balin.
you are all
Okay,
mine.
with the most amazing cloak ever, standing on a statue of the father from the Mortis arc.
Yeah.
Which is like, what is this?
And
like,
look at
that's
the
why I wanted more.
similarities.
Right?
The
This is so Lord
similarities
of the
between
Rings
the
right here.
two.
Yeah, no head on the daughter.
No head on the daughter, and the son is off somewhere. The statue of the son is off to the
He's
side
there.
there.
Yeah.
And you see Mordor. There's Mordor. There's the golden light coming out of it, and the statue is pointing at it. Like, what is going on? This is where I got disappointed. I'm like, this is not fair. This is not fair.
Yep. The beacon is calling him.
Yeah, that's what was calling him.
Okay, so some people are saying like well, maybe we want to finish this last little thing with Ezra first, and then we can circle back about what the Mortis stuff is all about.
Right. Yeah. So we have an Imperial shuttle getting escorted by A-wings, landing on Home 1.
I think it's Balin's shuttle. Somebody pointed out. I thought it was an Imperial shuttle too, but it's actually Balin's.
Yeah, it's the Jedi shuttle from the first episode.
Yes.
And we get this night trooper coming down the ramp there. You know, guns are drawn. Chopper being what he's,
I'll murder him.
Saying some bad words.
He's a little short for a stormtrooper.
Yep.
And he knew who he was almost immediately.
Of course.
Why come out with a helmet for dramatic flair? Yes, I think the answer is yes.
I mean,
make it more
it's
dramatic.
Ezra.
Yeah,
you know,
he's having a little fun.
People pointed out it's Jabba.
It's Jabba.
Jabba was his cover name and everything. I'm Jabba.
Well, I mean,
and they're like, okay, Jabba.
You could also say he's
what's
Lando.
your name, Jabba?
Lando Calrissian at one point as well.
Oh, he uses Lando. Yeah, he met Lando.
He does use Lando.
You can copy it. That's good to throw heat onto Lando. I like the idea of that.
Oh yeah.
Like, you get in serious trouble. Like, my name's Lando Calrissian. You can find me and blah blah blah.
It's the entire idea is that he's telling people, famous criminals, to like intentionally let them know that this is not his real name too. Like, it's just part of like Operation Security.
That's great.
Yep. And then I'm trying to get to the last.
There was a good cross cut they did too, where he's walking across to like Hera, and then they like cross cut to the other galaxy, and Sabine is carrying the exact motion.
Right.
Things you can get away with when you do wipes in this universe. Like, it's part of your visual language. You can like have fun wipes like that.
Yeah, there's never enough wipes, in my opinion. The wacky the dial wipe.
The dial wipe is great.
Time has passed.
Yep.
And that's another cool shot that leads.
Yes. So this, if you pause it right there, is perfect. Some people are saying, is Sabine now hearing the call too? Like, she's like, oh, it's nothing, never mind. Like,
no, I think she actually saw like Anakin more like out there, like just the Force. She's more sensitive right now.
I thought maybe Ahsoka was the one who saw Anakin and just smiled at him here. That's interesting.
No, I think that she didn't know who it what it was. She just felt like a thing out there, a presence. And then the reveal.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully, I didn't show too much motion for Disney.
No, you're fine. I think you're fine.
Not to tag me.
I'll bail you out of jail, out of Disney jail, if that happens.
No, yeah.
You're in for it, mister.
So
we made it through the whole season without getting a flag. My last copyright claim was on the season finale of Mandalorian. So
before we move on to like our thoughts on the whole season,
what do you actually think about what the last thing that she actually says though? Like, Ahsoka says it's time to move on. It's like,
so Ahsoka's stoked. I think she's stoked.
I think it's more
new chapter for her.
Yeah, it's a more of a we don't have to dwell in the past. Everything now is ahead. Everything is the future.
There's no baggage here.
there's no baggage. We can't go back to our normal thing because we have no normal thing here.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, yes, they have their ship, and there is, you know, at least there's 3 of them. It's Ahsoka, Sabine, and
Huyang.
Huyang, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, so they're a little better off than
they could be.
they were before, because their biggest threat is 2 rogue Jedi type characters and a band of marauders, as opposed to Grand Admiral Thrawn and a Star Destroyer full of undead stormtroopers. Like,
but also whatever they were fleeing, whatever Thrawn was
in
fleeing.
addition to the background noise too of like the former remnants of the Empire, like.
mm-hmm.
So there's wild speculation here, and nobody knows because they didn't show us much in this episode. Is that in the Mortis Gods arc, you have the father who represents balance, you have the son who is dark, and the daughter that's light. All of them died, and the one that we don't see is the mother. And some people are speculating the mother is chaos as opposed to the father is balance, and that chaos is calling to Balin. Again, this is all wild speculation, and that's what he's going to find when he goes to Mordor there in the background. But it's just some interesting, you know,
Mordor
speculation. I mean, it totally was. I mean, there was like a light.
No, I mean, it definitely has.
it was it was a lot. Yeah. So after the daughter was murdered by the son and the father died, like there's nobody, whatever's trapped there or whatever was being held back is now, you know, calling to Balin. And I just wish we got a little more, man, just a little bit more to go on. It's going to be 2 years before we get anything here. I mean, we might get hints in the other shows.
That's the biggest sad part about this is that the production cycle on shows is so long. It's like 2 to 3 years now before we get another season.
Right. Yeah. But in the meantime, we still have 3 other Star Wars shows that they've been working on and have probably finished post-production on. That being Andor season 2, Skeleton Crew.
Looking forward to that.
Acolyte.
It'd be cool if we see Huyang and Acolyte. I hope we do. Along with everybody else.
Huyang could show up on that freaking
any timeline, right?
With the little kids if he wanted to.
Yeah.
As long as it could get, as long as David Tennant's got time to do the voice, it's, you know, he could be in everything.
Voice acting doesn't take that much time either.
That is true. It's pretty much stand in a closet, read some stuff into a microphone, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm really happy with this series. Like, it turned out better than I could have hoped. This and Andor, I mean, I feel like Star Wars is alive in a great way because they're so different. But they exist in the same universe, you know.
And what do both those shows have in common? Mon Mothma.
Yeah, she's awesome. Her character, the more we see of her, the better, in my opinion.
Yes,
she's great. She's great. The actress who's portraying her is great, and because you know, it's always like a side character that, you know, she was a big deal. She's there at the Battle of Endor giving a briefing. But just to flesh out her story, it's fantastic.
I always thought, like, you know, when I was a little kid and I saw Return of the Jedi for the first time, I'm like, who the hell is this red-haired lady? Why isn't Princess Leia giving these orders? This is
right.
Why is she taking Leia's job? This isn't cool.
I know. Like, it's pretty
now funny. We know.
It turns out she's a big deal. She's a big deal. I think this is keeping Star Wars. It's thriving right now with these shows because of the work that Filoni is doing, and this is a good direction.
Yeah,
I'm starting to think that Anakin Skywalker is not exactly the best dad, though.
Anakin?
Yeah.
No,
I don't think so. I mean, he's visiting Ahsoka. Where was he in his kid's life?
Well, I mean,
at the end of Endor.
Well, Leia's a little bit pissed off at him, though, with understandable reason, considering her adopted family and everybody she knew got like vaporized. Like,
but really, that wasn't Vader's call. That was Tarkin's call.
Okay, I'll concede that. I don't think Leia would, but I'll concede that.
Right. I mean, Vader let it happen, but he didn't make the call.
No, not really in charge of that one.
And the one guy who kind of outranked him just a little bit made the call.
Yeah,
you know,
it is kind of interesting that this must be an important timeline or place and time for Anakin to show up. Pivotal to the Force.
Here's also the thing though, like the Force is also everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
FTKM.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to put that up on the screen because we're not supposed to be cursing anymore. But yeah. Dang, I totally lost my train of thought. The Force is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So just because Anakin appeared for Ahsoka doesn't mean he can't go appear for Luke in like 5 minutes. The Force is everywhere. All at once. It's like the omnipotent eye of God. It's like that. Full OP.
Mm-hmm.
But
totally.
Yeah. So yeah, totally. So we don't get.
They left us hanging though. Like this is.
So they did leave us hanging. There is definitely.
There cannot not be.
Now speculation about recasting Ray Stevenson is warranted.
I've seen so many
until 6 p.m.
profiles.
Pacific yesterday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This guy would be a good Balin. This guy would be a good Balin. It's like, oh, Ray Stevenson was the good Balin, dude. Nobody can grow a beard like that guy.
I don't know.
I heard on one podcast they said Ray Stevenson's beard in the show is like the Clone Wars animation model. It's like perfect, solid wood.
Oh yeah,
wooden beard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a bummer.
I
want to see him in Tales of the Jedi. I want to see a backstory for him. Like if we're not going to get like anything for 2 years, I want like so when we come back in 2 years, we're like, oh, what's going to happen with Balin now?
It'd be they have to do something or at least explain him away or
he falls off the statue.
Right,
the arm falls off, the hand falls off. Like
he's up there. Ahsoka's owl flies by and he loses his balance.
Like you could have like the Wilhelm scream.
Oh man.
Yeah, Emily agrees with the Clone Wars beard.
Was there even a single Wilhelm in this season? Well, yeah, there was. Ezra Wilhelmed.
I think there was one somewhere.
When he got force pushed, it wasn't an exact one, but he definitely was yelping when Shin force pushed him.
They did a lot of almost lines or screams from the OG stuff, but everything just felt just a little short. One line, one or two words missing. I've got a bad feeling. I got a I don't know. It's.
Another wild speculation. Ezra will train Jason in the Force.
I can see that.
Like his father, Kanan trained Ezra. Now Ezra's going to train Jason. That's what's going to happen.
It's the it's the closest that kid's going to get. Like I can't see Hera.
Huyang's gone.
Because Ezra didn't get to meet Jason. Like this is going to be Jason's first meeting,
right?
And it's like who better to tell Jason about his dad than Ezra?
They better shoot those episodes now because at the time this show airs, Jason's going to be like 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they recast kid actors all the time.
And who's to say that isn't counterproductive to training him to teach him about all about his dad?
Yep. And I mean, so Ezra knows where that the Chimera went.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the Chimera
is there.
Has the coordinates to get back to where Ahsoka and Sabine are.
I was gonna point out that the most important thing is that he got away, and now they have the intel that Thrawn is back.
Yep.
And the general idea of what Thrawn's aims are and where he's hanging out.
Yep. So there's definitely Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for all this stuff to start coming together. So, yeah. I was also thinking that about now would be is a good, like, since they're doing all these artifacty kind of things, it'd be a good time to bring in that what's her face? Dr. Afra. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. In one of the previous episodes of the season, somebody mentioned it. You do see Zepho writing.
Yeah.
You might have heard about. So that's from Survivor. So they're throwing a little bit of that in there.
Maybe the Zepho are on this planet that they ended up in the other galaxy.
Which means there could be a tomb there, which means you can find a kyber crystal somewhere. You know, there's all kinds of stuff there.
Maybe they'll get
tech. And it's all because some like art designers like, we reuse this, and like, yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe they get maybe Ahsoka and Sabine will get rescued next season by freaking Cal Kestis and Marin.
I'm still holding out for an Infinity Gate.
Oh, yeah.
Possible.
Never know.
Never know. There is one on Dathomir.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. We need a way to get people back across the galaxy without a conventional means. But poor Huyang's ship.
Yeah, no, that ship's pretty important.
Yep.
Now
Huyang's ship, because in the Clone Wars he had a freighter, right, that he would go back and forth to Ilum with. This is like a shuttle from that, like probably in the bay, like a small shuttle, because it's not the full ship. Like he had like a big ship in Clone Wars, but it's the same
like
art
a
design.
Republic cruiser. Yeah,
same design. So this shuttle is probably just like one that was inside that thing. You think?
Probably. Like it's the lander. It's like like they leave the big ship in orbit and use that to come down.
Yeah, that would be a shuttle.
Yeah, they call it a shuttle. It's referenced somewhere. It's a
shuttle. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm kind of reaching the end of my time here.
No, it's
great season. Great season.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next
Filoni
season.
Killed it.
Definitely.
I'm sure he'll write the next season too, or probably already written. Maybe he has to change it now because of Balin or Ray Stevenson, which is a bummer.
Yeah,
but
redirect it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they have more than enough time to,
figure it out.
To start rewriting season 2 while they're making season 1.
And maybe it'll make for interesting story. Like the way having to write around his death will actually make them try harder or something.
You could also continue like a mystery angle following in his footsteps, basically never actually catching up.
Yeah.
Like, if he is the one who's like leads them out of this galaxy through whatever he finds, literally like make sure that they never really actually catch up with him, and you're good to go.
You're going to see Balin in the back of every scene in all the previous movies, like shanking Luke in the back while he's looking at the Tatooine sun.
It's always questionable. It's always questionable, but they could also just literally license his likeness, and then we have that issue.
They could,
yeah.
I mean, they could
see how his family feels about it.
They could just get his stunt double to have his hood up and just hood and a beard. That's all you really need.
So you mean like Plan 9 from Outer Space, where they lost like Bela Lugosi, so they just used like his dentist in a.
Yep,
it's me, Balin Skull.
Oh man, I hope they're a little more creative than that, but yeah.
I mean, if it works, it works. It's. I'd rather have no one replace him than the wrong guy replace him.
Right.
And it's pretty easy to get the wrong.
And just the way that ended, that was going someplace more than like we got. It was like, we're going to put this on the back burner because this is like a thing. Wow, you got there fast.
I have the hyperspace ring. I have the Eye of Sauron hyperspace ring.
There's way too many suns there.
I'm sunsetting.
Right. No, yeah. I think we did good. It's good season. Can't wait for the next one. I like
either Acolyte or Skeleton Crew.
Acolyte Skeleton Crew will be the next Star Wars thing, unless they all of a sudden announce Bad Batch season 2 or another
Season
Jedi stories or whatever. Oh yeah, Bad Batch 3. That's right. Other than that, Loki starts in 2 days. I'm definitely going to be checking that out.
Nope, we're getting Jedi Temple. We're getting the kids show back.
You don't need writers for it, but you know, or too many at least.
I don't know if you have to be in the Writers Guild for the
game show. I don't know.
For writing questions too.
Writing questions. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Em. It was nice to have
Thank you.
somebody.
Yeah, thanks for being in the chat. I know a couple other people popped in too, but they didn't say much, so I can't really say anything else about that. And yeah, where's the right button?
We'll be back for the next.
Thanks. Yeah,
Good
we'll be back.
Good night from Lethal.
Yeah.
Good night from Tatooine.
Good night from my garage. And with that, we are out of here.